So this is our heart. This is the structure of our heart, and this is how it looks like from inside. Let's understand that how is blood pumped in our heart. So I'll tell you an addition point first of all. Our heart is enclosed within a double membrane. Do you know what that membrane is called? Yeah, exactly. That membrane is called pericardium. Pericardium. Just you can remember the name. What is our heart? Our heart is a muscular organ. It is made up of cardiac muscles. So you can just remember from cardiac muscles that a heart is enclosed within a double membrane called the pericardium. Cardiac pericardium. Alright. So our heart is enclosed within a double membrane called pericardium. Now you might be wondering that there is one layer of pericardium and then our heart. Then what is the space between both of these layers filled with? Exactly, that is filled with the fluid. Now what is the function of the fluid? Why fluid is present there? We can just put a layer and above that one more layer. We can just say that this is the pericardium, and this is our heart. It can be like that, but it is filled with a fluid in the middle. Do you know what is the function of that fluid? I'll let you know. The function of that fluid is to protect the heart from shocks and jerks. It protects our heart from shocks and jerks because our heart is a really very sensitive organ. It needs to be protected from various shocks and jerks. And so does the work the fluid do. Now, leave that addition point. Now let's talk about the main point, which is how this heart functions, how the blood is pumped, how it is separated from the deoxygenated and oxygenated blood. So let's talk about this first. So the main point, our heart is divided into 4 chambers, 1, 2, 3 and 4. The right and the left atrium, and the right and the left atria, and left and the right and the left ventricle. Alright, our heart is having 4 chambers: left atrium, right ventricle and left ventricle. Alright, now let's talk about atria first. Both of these chambers, the left and the right atria. The atria are also called receiving chambers. Do you know why? Because they receive blood from various different parts of the body. They receive the blood and they transport the blood to the ventricles, and ventricles are the distributing chambers. These ventricles distribute the pure blood to all the different parts. But these atrium receive the blood from various body parts. Let's talk about atrium first. So, atria is actually the plural. You might be thinking that I'm taking 2 names, atria, atrium. Alright, let me clarify. Atria is actually the plural and singular is atrium. And we can also say that atria is also called auricles. We can say auricles. But I would like to say atria because it seems more nice. So, let's say atria. This is the right atrium, this is the left atrium. They receive blood from different organs of the body. They receive blood from different organs of the body and then transport it to ventricles. Alright, now let's talk about it. Now we are listing the word again and again. Ventricles. Now what are these ventricles? Let's talk about them. Ventricles are actually the distributing chambers. They distribute the pure blood or impure blood to various different body parts. I'll let you know. Don't worry, I'll let you know. Ventricles are large chambers. These atria are smaller chambers, but as compared to atria, these ventricles are larger chambers. They have thick, more elastic and muscular walls as compared to atrium. They are large in size. They have thick, more elastic and muscular walls as compared to the atria. They pump blood. Their function is to pump blood to various different body parts. Can you see the shape of our heart? The shape of our heart. Do you know the size of the heart? It's about 12 centimeter. The heart is about 12 centimeter in length and 9 centimeter in breadth. The length is 12 centimeter and the length is 12 centimeter and the breadth is 9 centimeter. You can note it down somewhere because this is a really important point. And the weight, if you just close your fist, your fist. You can, if you just close it, you'll get to know the size of your heart, because it's the similar. And if we talk about the weight of the heart, so we can say that it about, in some places it's said that it's about 300 gram, and we often say that it's about 150 gram to 350 gram, because it varies. It's not the same in every case, it varies. It's 150 gram to 350 gram. You can note it down somewhere, because these are important points. Anyways, this was just an additional point. Now let's get back to ventricles. We were talking about ventricles, right? So ventricles, they pump blood to all the different parts of the body. Now we can see that there is something, like really weird present in the between and the sides. What is this? This is septum. Do you know what septum is? What is the function of septum? I'll let you know. First, let's write it that it is septum. Here we go. So this muscular, something like muscle is in the middle. This is called septum. The muscular wall, we can define septum as a muscular wall that separates the heart into right and left part is called septum. The muscular wall, I'm repeating, a muscular wall which separates the heart into the right and the left parts is called septum. All right. Now the left side of the heart, this is the left side. Now the left side of the heart is, has carbon rich blood, which is called deoxygenated blood. And the right side is having, I'm sorry, I said that wrong. The left side of the heart, it receives and distributes oxygenated blood, the oxygen rich blood, whereas the right side of the heart, it receives and distributes the, that this left side of the heart, it receives and transports oxygen rich blood. This left side is entirely based on oxygen rich blood, whereas just in contrast to this, the right side is based on deoxygenated blood or carbon dioxide rich blood. It receives and transports the carbon dioxide rich blood or deoxygenated blood. Alright. Now the function of septum is to prevent the mixing of oxygenated and deoxygenated blood. So this is the main function of septum, because if there is no septum in the middle, then both of these blood will get mixed. Then what is the function of heart? There will be no use. So obviously there should be something in the middle to separate, to keep both of these things separated. The septum separates the oxygenated and the deoxygenated blood. It prevents them from mixing up. Now the blood flows from the atria to the ventricles. Blood does not flow from the atrium to another or one ventricle to another. The ventricle does not transport blood to a ventricle, or atria does not transport blood to the atria. No, it's not like that. Atrium transport blood to the ventricles. Got it? Now you might see a tricuspid valve present here. Now what is this tricuspid valve? So a tricuspid valve is present at the opening of the right atrium. It's present at the opening of the right atrium into the right ventricle. It's present at the opening of the right ventricle, and it's going towards the the right ventricle. The names are pretty confusing, but don't worry, you'll be able to memorize them. But you just need to go through them and review them on daily basis. Similarly, like here's tricuspid valve. Similarly, a bicuspid valve is present on the other side. We can see there's one more valve present here. They have written it like mitral valve, but it's not mitral valve. There's another name for it. We can also say mitral valve, but the most easy way to memorize it is bicuspid valve, because tricuspid and bicuspid are all similar. So you can say that this is bicuspid. Alright, just consider it. This mitral valve is actually bicuspid valve. So a bicuspid valve is present at the opening of the left atrium into the left ventricle. it is present at the entry, at the opening of the left atrium, and it goes towards the left ventricle. Now these valves ensure that the blood flows only in one direction, that is from the atrium to the ventricles. Why are these valves present? To ensure that the blood will flow only in one direction, that is from the atrium to the ventricles. They can't flow from ventricles to the atrium. They have to flow in only one direction, which is from the atrium to the ventricles. Tricuspid and bicuspid valves are also called auriculoventricular AV valves. You can note it somewhere. Now this was the part 1 of the structure of heart. We will discuss the rest of the part in the upcoming video inshallah. So stay tuned. Till that time you can watch this video again and again in order to understand everything properly, and we'll continue the topics related to vena cava, pulmonary artery, pulmonary veins, aorta and different things in the next coming video inshallah. Till that time, Allah Hafiz.